So E3 is finally over, and with that comes games for days! There was a little less than normal in the AAA market of gaming, but holy crap was there a lot of indie games. There's gun games, there's wizard games, there's wizard with a gun, there's food fighting games, there's a bird skateboard game, there's animal slavery games! So I'm going to highlight some of these games that I think are worth paying attention to, or at least that might be fun to play for a good amount of time. So let's get right to it. Let's start it off with the games that I would call cute aesthetic, which these games could be any genre of games but have a certain art style that's geared towards being adorable and pleasant rather than scary and edgy. The first game that I saw was Toem Photo Adventure, a black and white picture-taking game with a simplistic design yet an incredibly unique camera mechanic with fun and charming characters. You have to solve puzzles by using the camera to take pictures as you make your way across this minimalistic, laid-back landscape. It's pretty cool. Another picture-themed game is called Behind the Frame, an interesting puzzle game with painting mechanics where you have to help the main protagonist finish her masterpiece while discovering stories about her and her grumpy neighbor's past. With a Studio Ghibli-esque art style to it, I'm sure this one is going to be an emotional ride. Lake is a game about delivering mail. But unlike the last package delivery game, Death Stranding, the gameplay actually seems fun and at least related to the storyline. The game is a very much choose-your-own-adventure story with a seemingly good amount of replayability to it, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Planet of Lana is a mesmerizing game that seems to have a mix of Spiritfarer with Limbo, and that's one hell of a mix. You play as Lana, a little girl accompanied by her loyal cat Tater Tot, as she travels this colorful yet terrifying world of beauty and horror. This game isn't scheduled to release until 2022, but the reveal trailer was so stunning, I couldn't skip over this one. One Lonely Outpost is a farming sim along the likes of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley, but you're in space! In the future where you can gene splice crops and have a herd of robo-cows, anything is possible. The game seems to have a lot of content, and if you need that next high of farming sim goodness, this might be your next hit. With the explosion of top-down action fighters thanks to Hades and the like, there has been an abundance of cute aesthetic games in that style of gameplay. Garden Story, Death's Door, and Tunic were the few that caught my eye as these art styles were all unique and the gameplay seems rather enjoyable, with Death's Door seeming to be the best of all of the trailers, but Devolver Digital doesn't put their name on anything, so... Either way, these games look quite fun and adorably charming, and I can't wait to get my hands on them. Next up are the action/story games. These games lean normally heavily on the narrative or the gameplay and nothing else. This includes Wizard with a Gun, a Devolver Digital release, which has you and some friends teaming up in a co-op survival sandbox game where you explore the open world, discovering new spells and battling dangerous monsters. A similar game to that is Tribes of Midgard, a new 10-player PvE co-op survival set in the Viking wilderness. You can team up, build up your base, and protect it from the hell things that spawn during their nightly raids. 10-player co-op sounds hilariously fun with a great group of people, so be ready for it. The Anacrusis is a retro-futuristic first-person shooter where you and 3 friends defend yourselves against a seemingly unending horde of aliens, and it's basically Left 4 Dead in space, so that sounds super cool. In the more story-driven games, there is Trek to Yomi, which is a beautifully designed 2D action platformer that looks more like an old Japanese revenge movie than a game, and I cannot wait to experience this epic tale. Somerville, from the creators of the great atmospheric horror platformers like Limbo and Inside, comes this interesting sci-fi puzzle platformer that has some really impressive visuals. Replaced is a futuristic 8-bit sci-fi that has some absolutely beautiful visuals that almost stole the Xbox showcase with this scene right here. I don't know much about it, but after that, I don't really need to. 12 Minutes is another Groundhog Day take on time travel, but in this iteration, you have to help your partner solve a murder before the cops show up to arrest or kill you. With voice acting from Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, and James McAvoy, this one looks like it might have you on the edge of your seat for the entire ride. From the stylized makers of Hyper Light Drifter comes Solar Ash, a new game that will have you traversing this strange yet beautiful world at high rates of speed, fighting enemies and conversing with the interesting characters as the void calls to you. In a similar aspect, Sable is another strangely stylized game that will have you traveling over a desert landscape and discovering lost wonders from a forgotten world. Finally, we have the weird games, the games that seem to have a very strange concept or just a very unique gameplay loop. We'll start it off with a game with the most inventive name, Skatebird, a game where you play as a bird on a skateboard. It's Tony Literal Hawk's Pro Skater. But I hate myself for that joke, but worth it. Unmetal is a Metal Gear parody that seems to make fun of every stealth action shooter. If you enjoy yourself a good laugh in video games, this one might be a good choice. Despot's Game has you leading a group of humans further down into an increasingly difficult maze-like structure while equipping them with items dropped by monsters you defeat, getting stronger, building up your humans, and with strange jokes and bizarre characters, this game seems to be rather addicting. It will have you constantly wanting to improve your squad. Serial Cleaners has you playing multiple mob characters as you clean up after rather violent altercations and hide the evidence from the inspecting police. Never has the act of cleaning been this suspenseful. Ramen is a new food-fighting multiplayer where you can customize your soup warrior and battle in different food-based competitions for the crown. It has some serious Rocket League meets soup vibes to it, which is a very odd phrase and just to say. Phantom Abyss is an action platformer where it will have you chasing previous players' ghosts as they try to solve this puzzle before they inevitably meet their end. Once the player completes the run, it is closed forever. And finally, this game wasn't announced at E3 or any showcase, but it is too crazy not to talk about. Palworld. I will just play most of the trailer and show you how you will be simultaneously confused, but also gain a need for this game that you do not fully understand. Pokemon with guns and slavery? Sounds amazing. Anyway, that's all the games that I wanted to talk about, and I hope I showed you some good ones. Let me know if I missed any that you really liked in the comments, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like, as it really supports the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.